Underwater Hell, The Scary Reality of Deep-Sea Exploration. July 20th, 2023, Deep-Sea Research Facility, Pacific Ocean. As I sit here penning down my thoughts, the gentle hum of the Deep-Sea Research Facility's life support systems is my only companion in this eerie silence. My name is Chris, a marine biologist with a penchant for the mysteries of the deep. I joined this mission with a heart full of excitement and a mind brimming with curiosity. But now, as I reflect on the events unfolding around me, a sense of foreboding tinges my initial enthusiasm. Our facility, a marvel of modern engineering, is nestled in one of the most remote parts of the Pacific Ocean. It's a labyrinth of high-tech labs and living quarters designed to withstand the immense pressures of the deep sea. From the outside, it must look like a tiny speck of light amidst the overwhelming darkness of the ocean's abyss. Inside, it's a sanctuary for researchers like me, a place where we unravel the secrets of the deep. The journey to this underwater world was nothing short of miraculous. I remember the day we descended, the ocean's hues changing from turquoise to a deep, mesmerizing blue, and finally to an all-consuming black as we reached the depths. The transition was a profound experience, a reminder of how minuscule our presence is in this vast, unexplored underwater universe. For the first few weeks, our life here felt surreal. Each day brought new discoveries. Bioluminescent creatures, previously unknown to science, danced outside our reinforced glass windows. We were pioneers, charting territories that human eyes had never seen. Our work, we believed, had the potential to redefine understanding of life on Earth. But with groundbreaking exploration comes inherent risks, a fact we were all too aware of, yet chose to downplay. The facility, despite its advancements, is a fragile human habitat in an alien environment. We are uninvited guests in a world not meant for us. This realization hit hard during our third month, when a series of unexplained equipment malfunctions began to occur. At first, these were minor nuisances, a flickering light here, a malfunctioning sensor there. We attributed them to the usual technical glitches one expects in such a complex operation. But as these incidents became more frequent, an underlying tension began to build among the crew. Our once lighthearted conversations over dinner turned into speculative debates about the facility's integrity. Then came the storm. It was unlike any terrestrial storm I'd ever known. Our surface support team informed us that it was a colossal tempest, churning the ocean into an impassable barrier. Communication with the outside world became sporadic, then ceased altogether. We were alone, cut off from civilization by leagues of water and an unforgiving tempest above. The isolation gnawed at us. I noticed changes in my colleagues. Once vibrant eyes now reflected a deep-rooted anxiety. We tried to stay focused on our research, but the oppressive feeling of confinement was inescapable. It felt as if the ocean depths were slowly seeping into our minds, filling them with a heavy, unspoken dread. Amidst this growing unease, a more pressing concern arose. One of our crew, Dr. Elise Martinez, fell ill. It started with mild symptoms, fatigue and headaches, but rapidly escalated into something we couldn't diagnose. Our medical team was at a loss. The facility, equipped for emergencies, seemed glaringly underprepared for this. As I sit here now, the weight of our predicament bears down on me. The deep sea, a realm I once viewed with awe and wonder, now feels like an ominous void watching and waiting. The uncertainty of our situation, the isolation, the inexplicable illness, they all converge into a silent, oppressive force. I can't help but feel we've stirred something in these depths, something ancient and indifferent to our existence. I often find myself staring out into the abyss, pondering what secrets it holds. What have we unwittingly awakened in our quest for knowledge? The answers elude me, lost in the dark waters that surround this fragile bastion of humanity. As I conclude this entry, I'm left with an unsettling thought. In our pursuit to illuminate the mysteries of the deep, we may have ventured into realms that were never meant for human eyes. Hey, quick reminder, don't forget to subscribe and like for more videos. July 25, 2023, Deep Sea Research Facility, Pacific Ocean. The passage of days has become a blur in the undersea gloom. Here, in the depths of the ocean, time seems to lose its meaning, especially now as the facility, our beacon of scientific hope, starts to reveal its vulnerabilities. The atmosphere among the crew has shifted from one of camaraderie and shared purpose to a simmering pot of anxiety and unspoken fears. Our technical glitches have escalated beyond mere nuisances. The once reliable equipment, our lifeline to the outside world and to our research, began to falter with increasing regularity. The sonar system, essential for mapping the surrounding terrain and detecting any hazards, failed without warning, plunging us into a state of blindness. Our communication equipment, which used to connect us with the surface, now offers nothing but static. We are effectively cut off, left to our own devices in a world not meant for humans. These malfunctions are more than just mechanical failures. They are a constant reminder of our precarious situation. Each breakdown chips away at the crew's morale. We started holding regular meetings to address these issues, but they often end in heated debates, with each of us grappling with the growing realization of our isolation. The storm raging above has become a relentless, unseen enemy. Its fury feels personal, as if the ocean itself resents our intrusion. We receive fragmented reports from our surface support team, when we can, painting a picture of an unprecedented meteorological monster. The resupply mission, our link to essentials and spare parts, has been indefinitely delayed. We ration our supplies carefully, but the uncertainty of our situation hangs over us like a shroud. Amidst this turmoil, Dr. Martinez's condition worsened. Her illness, a mystery that seemed to defy medical logic, has spread to other crew members. Symptoms vary, but a pattern of debilitating weakness and cognitive impairment is emerging. Our medical team is working tirelessly, but their efforts are hampered by limited resources and an inability to consult with experts on the surface. I watch them, noting the worry etched on their faces, a mirror of my own fears. The illness is not the only thing spreading through the facility. Paranoia has taken root in the minds of the crew. Wild theories circulate in hushed tones, talk of an unknown pathogen from the deep, a curse from the ocean for our audacity to explore its secrets. I try to maintain a semblance of scientific rationality, but in the face of the unknown, even the most logical mind can entertain dark thoughts. One night, as I walked through the dimly lit corridors, I overheard a group of engineers discussing the possibility of sabotage, an idea that seemed far-fetched but gained traction in our current state. The thought that one of us could be undermining our mission is terrifying. Yet in our isolated and stressed condition, trust becomes a casualty. Amidst these challenges, a particularly disturbing incident occurred. Our remotely operated vehicle, ROV, sent to collect samples from a recently discovered hydrothermal vent, went offline. After hours of troubleshooting, the feed suddenly came back, but the images it relayed were unnerving. The camera showed a part of the ocean floor we hadn't mapped, an area with strange, almost unnatural formations. Before we could study it further, the feed cut out again, leaving us with more questions than answers. This incident added another layer of tension. Some crew members saw it as a sign, a warning from the depths. Others argued for rational explanations. I found myself caught in the middle, trying to maintain order and focus on our mission, despite the growing uneasy. As days turned into weeks, our situation became a psychological battle as much as a physical one. The deep ocean, once a source of fascination, now felt like a malevolent force, slowly tightening its grip on us. The sense of being watched, of something lurking just beyond our understanding, grew stronger with each passing day. In this oppressive environment, I find my thoughts turning inward. The excitement of exploration has given way to introspection and a dawning realization of our vulnerability. We are intruders in this alien world, a world that is not welcoming, a world that hides its secrets in the silent depths. As I conclude this entry, I cannot shake the feeling that we have ventured too far, that our thirst for knowledge has led us into a realm where we are not the observers, but the observed. The deep sea holds its secrets tightly, and as we push against its boundaries, I fear what we might unleash. August 5th, 2023, Deep Sea Research Facility, Pacific Ocean. In the heart of the ocean's abyss, enveloped by darkness and a sense of impending doom, we have reached a critical juncture. The facility, once a symbol of human ingenuity and the thirst for knowledge, now feels like a steel trap, closing in on us with the weight of the ocean pressing from all sides. Our situation, already dire, has spiraled into a crisis that threatens not just the success of our mission, but our very survival. It was during one of my routine checks of the lab that I stumbled upon a startling revelation, a discovery that would change the course of our ordeal. Among the various specimens we had collected from the ocean floor was a microorganism, previously unidentified. Under normal circumstances, this would have been a cause for celebration, a scientific breakthrough. But these were not normal circumstances. On closer examination and correlating with the medical team's observations, I realized this organism was unlike anything we had ever encountered. It exhibited rapid mutation and adaptation, characteristics that seemed to defy the known laws of biology. As I delved deeper into the analysis, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. The organism showed a peculiar affinity for synthetic materials, the very materials our facility was constructed from. This explained the series of malfunctions and breakdowns we had been experiencing. It wasn't just technical glitches, it was biological sabotage at a microscopic level. But the revelation didn't stop there. The illness afflicting the crew, its symptoms now alarmingly widespread, bore a disturbing correlation to the organism. It was adapting, learning, finding ways to interact with human biology in unpredictable and devastating ways. The implications of this were horrifying. We were not just dealing with a pathogen, we were up against an entity that was evolving, reshaping itself to thrive in both the environment of the deep sea and within us. The crew's reaction to this news was a mix of fear, disbelief, and in some cases, outright panic. Arguments broke out, with some accusing me of jumping to conclusions without enough evidence. But the evidence was there, in the petri dishes, under the microscopes, and in the sickbay where our friends lay suffering. Amidst this chaos, a critical problem arose. The structural integrity of the facility, already compromised, began to deteriorate at an alarming rate. Hallways that were once safe now showed signs of corrosion, the metal walls pitted and weakened by the organism's insidious spread. Water, the very element we had sought to study and understand, now threatened to breach our sanctuary. The situation reached its zenith when a hull breach occurred in one of the lower modules. Alarms blared, echoing through the corridors, a stark reminder of our vulnerability. The breach was contained, but it was a temporary fix at best. We were losing our battle against an invisible, relentless foe. In the midst of our struggle for survival, another daunting challenge presented itself. We had to make a decision that carried the weight of unimaginable consequences. Do we attempt to surface, to seek help and potentially expose the world to this unknown, rapidly evolving organism? Or do we stay submerged, isolated, possibly to perish in the depths, but ensuring the containment of this threat? The debates were intense, fraught with ethical and moral dilemmas. Every option seemed like a descent into a different kind of abyss. The risk of bringing the organism to the surface was incalculable. But the thought of remaining in the depths, waiting for the inevitable collapse of our facility, was equally unbearable. As the facility's chief biologist, the weight of this decision bore down on me heavily. My colleagues looked to me for guidance, their eyes filled with a mix of fear, hope, and desperation. I knew that whatever choice we made, it would define not just our fate, but potentially that of others far beyond these oceanic confines. In these defining moments, I found my thoughts drifting to the vast, unexplored expanses of the ocean that surrounded us. We had ventured into the unknown, driven by curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge. But in our quest, we had encountered something beyond our understanding, something that challenged the very essence of our perception of life. As I sit here, documenting what may be my final entry, the magnitude of our situation is not lost on me. We stand at the crossroads of discovery and catastrophe, a testament to both the brilliance and the hubris of human endeavor. The silent depths of the ocean, once a source of wonder and inspiration, now echo with the repercussions of our actions, a reminder of the delicate balance between exploration and the respect for the unknown. August 10, 2023, Deep Sea Research Facility. Pacific Ocean. The eerie silence of the deep sea is a stark contrast to the turmoil within our facility. Our once orderly and methodical world has devolved into a state of desperation and survival. The decision to remain submerged, a choice made with the heavy burden of responsibility, now dictates our every action. In the wake of our decision, the crew's focus shifted to containment and survival. The entity, a microscopic terror that had invaded both our home and our bodies, became our sole adversary. Our scientific pursuits, once driven by curiosity and the thrill of discovery, were now a battle against an unseen enemy that defied our understanding. The facility, compromised by the organism's insidious spread, was on the brink of failure. We worked tirelessly to reinforce the structure, patching up weakened areas, and shoring up the integrity of our underwater haven. It was a race against time, a battle of human will against the relentless pressure of the ocean and the destructive prowess of the organism. As the chief biologist, my focus was twofold. I spearheaded the research into understanding the organism, seeking any weakness that could be exploited. Simultaneously, I worked with the medical team, trying to alleviate the symptoms of the sick crew members who were now quarantined in a desperate attempt to halt the spread of the infection. Our efforts were met with mixed success. We managed to slow down the organism's proliferation within the facility, giving us a precarious sense of control. But the sickness among the crew continued to escalate. Friends and colleagues, once vibrant and lively, were now shadows of their former selves, their vitality sapped by the mysterious ailment. Amidst this struggle for survival, a glimmer of hope emerged. In analyzing the organism's structure and behavior, I discovered a pattern, a potential vulnerability. It seemed to have a sensitivity to certain electromagnetic frequencies. This revelation spurred a new strategy, to devise a way to use our equipment to generate these frequencies, potentially inhibiting the organism's growth. The implementation of this plan was fraught with challenges. Our resources were limited, and modifying the equipment required ingenuity and a willingness to risk the unknown. But the crew rallied together, driven by the hope of regaining some control over our fate. Engineers and scientists worked side by side, repurposing and adapting our technology in a feat of improvisation and resilience. As we initiated the electromagnetic countermeasure, the tension was palpable. The facility hummed with the new frequency, a sound that seemed to vibrate through our very bones. The initial results were promising. We observed a slowdown in the organism's activity, a sign that our efforts were not in vain. However, this victory was short-lived. The organism, in its relentless adaptability, began to show signs of resistance to our countermeasures. It was evolving, responding to our actions in a chilling display of biological tenacity. The realization that we were engaged in an arms race with a microscopic entity was both humbling and terrifying. In the midst of this escalating battle, another crisis struck. The storm above, which had been our relentless overlord, began to wane. This should have been a relief, a sign that we could finally communicate with the surface and potentially receive aid. But it brought a new dilemma. With the possibility of resurfacing, the risk of exposing the world to the organism became an imminent and daunting reality. The debates reignited among the crew, now divided between the desire for rescue and the fear of unleashing an unprecedented threat upon the world. As the person who had discovered the organism and understood its potential, I felt the weight of this decision more than anyone. The ethics of our situation were complex and burdened with unknowns, the safety of the few versus the safety of the many. A classic dilemma, but one that felt agonizingly real in our underwater prison. In these moments of crisis, the depths of the ocean seemed to reflect the depths of our predicament. We were caught in a web of moral and existential questions, our fate intertwined with that of an organism that had challenged our understanding of life itself. As I conclude this entry, the future remains uncertain. The facility, though still standing, is a shell of its former self, scarred and weakened. The crew, my colleagues and friends, are a testament to human resilience, yet also a reminder of our fragility. We are at a crossroads, balancing on the edge of survival and catastrophe, our decisions echoing in the silent depths that surround us. August 15, 2023, Deep Sea Research Facility, Pacific Ocean. In these final moments, as I sit to record what may very well be my last entry, the reality of our predicament is more palpable than ever. Our world, a high-tech fortress in the depths of the ocean, has been reduced to a fragile shell, a remnant of human ambition and vulnerability. The relentless pursuit of knowledge has brought us to the brink, and now we stand at the precipice, facing the consequences of our actions. The decision to surface, fraught with moral implications, was made. It was a decision born of desperation, a gamble with stakes higher than any of us could have imagined. We could no longer ignore the plight of the crew, their health deteriorating rapidly. The possibility of exposing the world to this enigmatic organism was a risk we had to take, for the sake of those suffering among us. Preparing the facility for resurfacing was a monumental task. Systems that had been dormant or damaged had to be brought back online. The integrity of the structure had to be ensured, as much as our limited resources would allow. Every action was a battle against time, against the organisms still thriving within our walls, and against our own dwindling strength. As we ascended, leaving the abyss behind, a sense of surrealism enveloped me. The darkness of the deep sea gave way to gradients of blue, a visual reminder of our journey back to a world we had left behind. The weight of the ocean lifted gradually, but the weight in our hearts remained, a heavy reminder of the uncertainty that awaited us. The surface greeted us with a world vastly different from the one we had left. The storm had passed, but its aftermath was evident. The sky was a tapestry of oranges and purples, beautiful yet somber, reflecting the turmoil we had endured below. Upon surfacing, our first act was to establish communication with our surface support team. Their relief at hearing from us was palpable, even through the static-filled connection. But as we relayed the details of our ordeal, the gravity of the situation became clear. We were not just survivors, we were potential harbingers of an unknown biological threat. The response was swift and overwhelming. Quarantine protocols were enacted, far stricter than any of us could have anticipated. The facility was surrounded by a fleet of biohazard containment vessels, a stark contrast to the solitary support ship we were used to. As I looked around at my crewmates, I saw a mix of relief and fear. Relief at being rescued from the depths, and fear of what lay ahead. We were no longer just researchers, we had become subjects of study, isolated and scrutinized for signs of the organism's influence. In the days that followed, our fate remained uncertain. The organism, once confined to the depths of the ocean, was now a subject of intense study at the surface. Our medical team worked closely with top virologists and biologists, racing against time to understand and counteract the effects of the pathogen. The facility, our home for months, was quarantined and eventually scuttled. It was a necessary decision, a means to contain the potential threat. Watching it sink back into the ocean was a poignant moment, a symbol of our journey coming full circle. As for myself, the experience has left an indelible mark. The excitement of exploration, once a driving force in my life, has been tempered by the lessons learned in the depths. The ocean, a vast and mysterious frontier, holds secrets that are both wondrous and terrifying. Our quest for knowledge, while noble, must be tempered with respect and caution. In these final words, I find myself reflecting on the journey we undertook. We sought to illuminate the unknown, to unravel the mysteries of the deep sea. But in our pursuit, we encountered a challenge that tested the limits of our understanding, our ethics, and our survival. The ocean's depths remain, silent and unyielding, holding secrets we have barely begun to comprehend. Our experience is a testament to the unpredictability of nature and the inherent risks of delving into the unknown. It is a reminder that in our quest for knowledge, we must always be mindful of the delicate balance that exists between exploration and preservation. As I sign off, the future remains uncertain, both for us and for the organism we discovered. But one thing is clear, the silent depths of the ocean will continue to call to those who seek its secrets. A siren song of discovery and danger, echoing in the vast, uncharted waters of our planet. We have come to the end of our story. Subscribe and like the video so as not to miss the videos that we will upload in the future. Tell me, what do you think about this story in the comments? I'll see you in the next story.